Hope you guys are excited to move today. I have an amazing movement session planned for us today. If you haven't already put your tight rolls in effect, make sure you're doing that. Maybe not. I like it. Okay. Um, so similar movements today as usual, rolling, rocking, getting up, getting down. Um, but we're going to focus a lot of attention on our breathing today. Breathing is one of the most important movements we could ever really master, especially because if you fail to breathe, nothing works, literally. um, so we're going to be focusing on that today. I'm going to have you focus on certain points that I want to encourage your breath to go to. And the breath is going to be traveling throughout what we refer to as the thoraco-pelvic canister. So we're going to be focusing on some of that today. It's going to be amazing. Okay. We're going to be starting on the ground, so you guys can go ahead and make your way there. Make sure that you have any props available that you think you might need, some pillows in case we do some kneeling activities. Um, and really just remember to make sure to follow that feel good principle. Follow your feel good principle. If it feels good, you're probably doing something good for your body. And if it doesn't feel good, scale it down, tone it down, and that's what you need to do. All right, guys, gals, all y'all, let's do it. So we're going to start on our back. So find yourself in a nice, comfortable position, please. Okay, so while you're on your back, let me set my timer here. Okay. So while you're on your back, we're just going to turn our attention in towards our breathing and relax. Not forcing anything at all, but really just allowing yourself to be. Allow the ground to support the full weight of your body. Notice the points of support underneath you. So like, where is your body making contact with the ground? Perhaps bring your attention there. And just relax those points of contact. So, for me, I can feel the ground underneath my head, right posterior hip, left posterior hip, right ankle, just bringing my attention to the different contact points and then choosing to relax those points. Okay. So there's a couple points that I want to bring your attention to. The first one is take your hands on the front sides of your hips, and you'll notice two pointy bones or bony landmarks. These are the anterior superior iliac spine. So what you're going to do is you're going to take two fingers and press just medial or inside to that. And as you breathe, just see if you can send your breath into that area very gently. And then as you exhale, exhale very, very slow and completely. The exhalation is as important, if not more important, than the inhalation. You want to make sure that you're closing the rib cage down completely as you exhale. So we're literally massaging our viscera and our internal organs with the ribs. Okay. The next spot I want you to bring your attention to is the ribs. So you're going to take your hands on the lower portion of your ribs, front, sides, and back, as long as that's comfortable. If it's not comfortable, just find a hand position that is comfortable. And then as you breathe, see if you can expand the lower ribs, front, sides, and back. So you have that point in the front side of the hip that you're focusing your attention on. You have your lower ribs, front, sides, and back, just expanding as you breathe, just very, very gently. You're not forcing the breath into these areas, but just bringing some gentle attention there. The other spots that I want to bring your attention to is just underneath your back, right here, right underneath the scapula area, and making sure that you're breathing into that area as well. A lot of times we focus on belly breathing, which is focusing on taking our air into our abdomen, which has some value. And then we also want to practice breathing three-dimensionally. And then last but not least, the last place I want you to focus on is the sit bones. So if you want to bend your knees and place your hands right underneath your sit bones. If you're not sure what your sit bones are, it's just the bones that you sit on. So as you scoop your hands or your fingers underneath your glutes and just kind of flex your fingers and press into the tissue, you're going to feel some bony landmarks. And those are your sit bones. So while you breathe, see if you can imagine the space in between those sit bones expanding very gently. And just send your breath into the bottom of your pelvic bowl. So as we're breathing, our diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle underneath it, or in the lower portion of the ribs, as that contracts and presses down, there should be an element of sensation all the way at the bottom of the pelvic bowl. So we're breathing into all those spots. The place medial to the ASIS, breathing into the lower ribs, front, sides, and back, and also making sure we're breathing into the space in between our sit bones. Okay? The other thing that we could do to make sure that we're in a good position for breathing is we can elongate the spine. And truly, we should probably be elongating our spine through most of these movements we do today. But all you got to do to elongate the spine is keep your ribs down in front and then take your hands behind your head and press up into the EOP, which is the external auditory meatus, knob of knowledge, bump on the back of your head, whatever you want to call it. So you're just creating some length through your spine. Okay? And then if you want, on the next breath or two, if you want to focus on just gently touching those few spots that I mentioned to you and focus on breathing 360 degrees through the lower ribs, down into the pelvic bowl, in between the space in between your sit bones, and then also breathing up even into the rib cage just underneath the armpit area. So just focusing on some nice gentle breaths this morning. Okay, now from here, we're going to go into our first movement, which is going to be long rolls. I'm calling them long rolls because you're going to make your body as long as you possibly can. So from this long, elongated position, all you're going to do is you're going to take an arm across the body and reach all the way across until the weight of your arm takes you onto your abdomen. Okay, once you're on your abdomen, just rock your pelvis from side to side, relax any unnecessary tension, and then sweep the arm back to go back to your backside, switch sides. So we're just taking our arm across the body, reaching, 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 and then rolling. Once you get there, rock it out, and then do the arm sweep to get you back onto your backside, switch sides. So go ahead and do that at your own speed. Enjoy the sensation of the ground massaging your body as you go. And remembering those areas that we just touched a few moments ago for the diaphragmatic breathing, and just bringing some attention into those areas and making sure your breath is expansive every time. Nice and relaxed. Okay, so from here we're going to go into some rocking. But the way we're going to rock is I'm going to have you start from a seated position, and we're going to start with a backwards butt scoop. We're going to scoop backwards, and then we'll rock, come back up, scoot our butt forward. Okay? So scoot your butt back, rock, come up, scoot forward. That's all we're doing. Okay? So you can do any little variation that you want. You want to make sure that you're really pressing firmly into the ground and lifting your butt up off the ground, and then rock, and then scoot your butt forward. Okay, start to pay attention to how you feel inside your body this morning. Inhale, exhale. Make sure that you're breathing mindfully throughout this whole process. Inhale, exhale. Okay, guys, our next movement is going to be a bridge with an overhead reach. So let's go ahead and lay our backs down onto the ground. Our knees are bent, feet flat on the floor. You're going to press your pelvis up into the air, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then reach above your head. Bring the arm back, and then lower your pelvis back to the ground. Start all over again. So you're simply pressing the hip up into the air and then reaching overhead. So you have all these different variations in terms of where you can reach. But as you go, perhaps you want to integrate that breath work. So what I would encourage you to do is take in your breath, focusing on all those points we focused on earlier. And then as you exhale, that's when you go for the reach. And then what happens is the exhalation tends to relax you down, and that helps to create efficiency with the movement. So you can breathe into all those spots, press, reach, exhale. Lower down, breathe in, press, reach. And again, you're doing this at your own speed. Okay, going right back to our long rolls. This time we're going to lead with the leg. So we got our arms above our head, legs stretched in the opposite direction. You're going to reach a leg across the body and then gently roll onto your abdomen with control. Okay? And then from here, you're going to bend the knee, reach the leg behind, roll back onto your backside, switch sides. Okay, so again, we can use the breath work on this one as well, breathing into all those areas that we focused on, in between the ASIS, the sit bones, the ribs, front, sides, back, all the way up into the armpit area. Really broad, expansive breath. Reach the leg across as you exhale and roll. Okay? So you can do this at your own speed. Perhaps you want to get a little bit more of the movement aspect in. That's good too. So you're reaching with that leg, reaching, 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 and rolling, massaging the body into the ground. Okay, so we're going right back into our rocking. So this time, we're going to add a little bit to it. So we're going to do our butt scoot, but this time you can either do your rocking or you can roll over. So this is just another way to use our rocking. So imagine you're trying to get away from something, the rocking, and then the roll over. Okay? So when you do your roll over, you want to make sure that you're straightening one arm and you're looking towards that arm as you roll over. Okay, so you can alternate sides, scoot, scoot, roll over. You want to go back using another roll? Feel free. Okay, so butt scoot, roll it over. Okay, now if rolling isn't an option for you, that's okay. Just do the variation that works for you. The scoop forward, scoop back, roll is, or rock is good too. Okay, so this time we're going back into our bridges on our overhead reach. So again, lifting the pelvis into the air, reaching over our heads, or reaching across the body. You can add some extension through the opposite leg, just feeling that connection there. Or you can keep it simple with your bridge overhead reach. Taking that breath deep into the body, all the way through the front, sides, and back, reaching, exploring the sensations. Now remember, make this work for you. If you watch this on demand, it's going to be the same movement pattern every time, but it's going to be different every time you do it because you're going to be honoring your own body and what you need this morning. Okay, so our last set of long rolls is going to end with a crunch. So we're going to start in our end position. Your elbows are going to be touching your knees. You're going to slowly, with control, elongate through the arms and legs, roll onto your stomach, roll onto your back, and crunch it up. Okay, and then switch. So you're slowly moving through these positions, trying to keep the body in good position. And by good position, I just mean to pay attention to the quality of that movement. What are the sensations that you feel in your body? Where do you need to modify what you're doing to make it work for you? Crunch it up. Perhaps from this heavy baby pose, you take your breath in, maybe touching those points where you think you need a little more tactile cueing to take your breath into. Like, so for me, I like to touch the sit bones because taking air all the way down to the bottom of my pelvic bowl, that one is really therapeutic for me and important. So that's where I focus, and then I go through my movement pattern as I exhale. Okay, so right back into our rocking. So again, you have your options. You have your butt scoot rock, butt scoot forward, or you have your butt scoot roll. And again, you can roll forward and back. Choice is yours, but make sure that your rolls are done very slow and safe. This is really important, like I mentioned, and in an event where we're trying to get away from something, someone, God forbid, and you're moving back. This is just another way to get further away. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so our rocking is going to a whole new level today. Make sure it works for you, of course. Make sure it's feeling good for you. Okay, last set of bridge with the overhead reach. So on your backs, please. We got our bridge. And this time what we're going to do with our bridge is we're going to back our butt up and scoot back. So instead of just reaching overhead, now we're going to take our butt and scoot it back. Okay? So you press up and bring those shoulders together and scoot your caboose back. And then come back to your bridge position. Okay, so you can lower up and down, maybe pulse through that a little bit. And then when you're ready, shoot those hips back. Scoot, scoot. Okay, and then come back to your starting position. Okay, so press, escape. Press, escape. So important to be able to navigate the ground. So we got press and escape, press and escape. All right, guys. Next movement, let's get into a knee hand crawl position, please. We're going to start with some spinal articulations. Continue taking that unnecessary tension or letting go of that unnecessary tension. So you're going to start with a little bit of cat and cow. So you're going to lift the mid back towards the ceiling, and then allow the sternum to drop towards the floor. Okay, so you're doing a combination of flexion of the spine and extension. See if you can really feel sensation throughout the entire spine as you do this. Perhaps you want to bring your body weight backwards over your heels as you move through these positions. Perhaps you want to add a little bit of lateral flexion of the spine, perhaps a combination of all the above. And then remember, as you're moving, see if you can't dial in your attention on that breathing. Just relax, sending your breath very gently to all those spots that we mentioned earlier. Nice and relaxed. Okay, I always like to add a little tail wag here. Okay, from here, let's get into a kneeling position. From here, we're going to place one hand behind us, rotate around gently with a reach, come out of that, step out lunge. Okay, bring it back. Let's go to the other side. So you place one hand behind, reach, and then you step out in any direction with your lunge. Okay, so from your kneeling, drop the hand back, rotational reach, letting it go, letting your hand kind of move to wherever feels appropriate for you. Step out lunge, come back, rotational reach, step out into a different direction each time. Perhaps you want to do multiple steps. Perhaps you want to take your attention into that nice three-dimensional breathing that we talked about. Whatever you like. Perhaps you want to stick with the rotational reach pattern. Perhaps you want to play around with straight or pointed toes versus flexed toes. Choice is yours. Okay, from here, let's move into a side sit position and work on some side sit transitions. So side sits, one foot or leg bent in front, one bent in back. You can post your arms behind, swivel those knees from side to side. It's a great mobilization for your lumbar spine and for your hips. Surrender unnecessary tension by using your focus on those points for breathing. So making sure that you're breathing fully and completely, expanding that breath completely through all the space between your clavicle and the bottom of your pelvis. And also making sure your breathing is moving east and west, north and south, every direction, expansively breathing. Okay? Let this be a kind of a cool down set, if you will. If you want to amp it up a little bit, take the arms out of it. If you want to amp it up further, change how you're getting yourself from side sit to side sit. That's an option as well. Okay, so right back into our knee hand crawl, please, for our spinal articulations. This time what we're going to do is we're going to use a Cobra child's pose transition. So let's just start in our knee hand crawl. You're going to bring your body weight forward and lower your pelvis to the ground. Now from this position, we're going to go ahead and take in our breath, focusing on those points that we mentioned earlier. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your body weight back over your heels. And again, since this is a spinal articulation movement, you're going to add your spinal articulations in whatever way feels appropriate to you as you move between these positions of Cobra or spinal extension. Taking in that breath, maybe pausing to take a couple breaths just to make sure you're nice and relaxed, which again helps with the efficiency aspect of your movement. So take in your breath and then move as you exhale. Soften your body. Make your body nice and relaxed as much as you possibly can. Okay, so right back into our kneeling rotational reach. This time we're going to add a get up. So I'm going to post a hand behind, reach. I'm going to step forward, press up, and then lower myself right back down, switch sides. Okay, so rotational reach, stepping out, getting up, lower yourself right back down. Rotational reach, step out, stand up. It's that simple. Reach, 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 step out, get up. Just like that. Slow it down if you need to. Speed it up if you need to. Perhaps, whatever you're doing right now, I'm sure it's good. As long as you're being good to you, that's all we need. Be good to you. And that doesn't mean make it easy. It just means that you're honoring what your body needs this morning. Perhaps you need to break a sweat. That's on you. Make it work. Okay, so from here back into our side sit transitions. This time we're going to add a hip hinge, hip press, and a get up. Okay, so from your side sit, transition to the other side, hinge forward at the hips, press up, and if you want to add that get up, feel free. And then when you lower yourself down, make sure you do it with control. Side sit, hip hinge, hip press, get up. Bam. Okay. Lower the knee down, straighten the foot or point the toes, bring the other leg around, lower yourself back down, switch sides. Make sure this movement works for you. Continuously taking your attention back into the breathing. This is really good for developing strength in our foundation, feet and the legs. Okay, guys, so right back into our knee hand crawl, spinal articulations. So this time what we're going to do is we're just going to make the movement of the spine work for you. From our knee hand crawl position, you're just going to use as many different movements as you possibly can to let go of unnecessary tension in the spine. So you can spend a little more time in this modified child's pose position here. Perhaps you want to separate your knees a little bit and explore the sensations of the spine moving through that. So many different variations. The goal is to articulate the spine. Okay. Inhale really deep and expansively, and then remember as you exhale, that's as important, if not more important, than breathing in. So exhaling fully and really making sure that you're closing those ribs down as you're exhaling completely. So bringing your body weight forward and back. Nice and easy. Okay, guys, right back into our kneeling rotational reach. Okay, with a step out lunge, get up. So post the hand behind, reach. Remember, you can use the breath work, right? So from the center position, breathe into all those points. Here, 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 all the different points. Breathing 360 degrees, and then as you exhale, reach. And then you can, of course, add your step out, get up, and lower yourself right back down with control, reach. Pay attention to every little micro movement that you need to. So not just the reach, but even just the placement of your hand on the ground. Take your attention inside the body and the sensations of the hand, making contact with the ground, stepping out into different directions. and modifying this to make it work for you, which usually means or equates to doing something like with a little bit of creativity or improvisation. Okay, so once you've got that movement done, then you start to improvise and make it yours. Okay, so last side sit transition. This time what we're going to do, we're going to still do the hip hinge, hip press, get up, but this time we're going to use a kick out to change our position of side sit. Okay, and then add your hip hinge, hip press, get up. Remember, take your time, lower yourself to the ground without your hands if possible, but if you need to get your arms involved, that's awesome too. Okay, kick out. Perhaps you want to do several of those in a row, and then hip hinge, hip press, get up. So really pay attention to what's happening in the body. Make sure that you're breathing into all those points, 360 degrees in every direction. Not sure if that makes sense, but you guys know what I mean. You guys are good like that. Step out, get up, lower down, all with control. Spin around a little bit on your butt there. Okay, guys, let's come to a standing position, please. Our next movement is going to be a standing tripod kick through with a rocking get up. So, feet double shoulder width apart, reach one hand towards the ground. From here, take your same side leg, pass it underneath the body. Simple as that. Then let's go ahead and bring the leg back, come to standing, switch sides. So we place one hand down, press through all aspects of your hand, bring the leg under and through, keeping that shoulder down and compressed, and then bring the leg right back, come to standing. Okay? So hinging forward at the hips to get yourself into this position is really important. One of the things that you can do to make sure you're in good alignment is place one hand on the front of the pubic bone and one hand roughly right in the center of your sternum. And these 2 points should be in the same line vertically. So as I move and come down towards the ground, I want to make sure those points are in alignment. And then I come right back up, change my position, lower down, kick through, come up, kick through, come up. Okay, next movement. We have a single leg lateral hop. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the leg behind and then use the momentum of that leg to kick it out and hop to the side. Okay? So all you're doing, it could be a small hop. It could be a larger hop. Make sure that it's working for you. Make sure that breath work is happening. You want to accentuate the lowering aspect. Maybe you want to hop lower. Perhaps you aren't worried about being low, so you just hop, hop. Perhaps trying to go high. As long as you're getting a lateral hop, you're good. Okay, guys. Next movement, we're coming down into a plank position. So from a plank position, we're going to do some shoulder taps. And so you could be in a knee hand crawl, a foot hand crawl, choice is yours. And all we're going to do is we're going to tap the opposite shoulder with our hand. The alternative for this movement is to pass under with the leg and do your shoulder taps from a supine position. Okay? So you can do a combination of those two movements. And again, if this is really rough, you can bring the knees down to the ground. And then even when you do the inverted crawl aspect, you can kind of just lean back, keeping your butt on the ground. Or if it's easy, then you can kind of create that plank dynamic as you work your way through. Okay. All right, guys, right back to standing. So we have our standing tripod kick through. This time we're going to add a little bit. So we come down, kick through. This time we're going to add a rock and get up. So I'm just going to rock, come right back up. Switch sides. So again, lower the hand to the ground, kick the leg through, lower your butt down, rock, post the arm, come right back up. Okay, so take your time, make sure it works for you. Make sure you're staying light and relaxed, that your breath is deep and expansive. Always want to be ready at all times, right? Always ready. Lower yourself down with control. And then getting up with control as well. Keep your body nice and loose, nice and relaxed. Perhaps you want to switch, whatever you like. Okay, guys, single leg lateral hop. Again, just using the momentum of the leg. And this time, if you want to lower yourself down and play around with different positions, low, pressing yourself up to that standing position and then hop to the other side, same exact thing. Okay, so hop, lower down, perhaps add some reaching into different directions, and then hop, reach, reach. Make sure it works for you. I love this one. This one feels really productive to me. But that's me, right? Like maybe for you, you're like, it's all right. Well, it was only all right. Change it up, make it work for you, fam. Okay, so right back into our plank shoulder tacks. So again, you got your options. You got the supine version or the prone version. So find yourself in good position and then tap the shoulder. Really take your time and make sure that you're focusing on quality over quantity. Perhaps this time you want to add a reach with a contralateral lift. So for example, I can lift one arm and opposite leg. And then when I come into my inverted crawl, I have the same option. Okay? Take your time. Make it work for you. And no matter what movement you're doing right now, make sure that your breath work is a very critical and lovely part of it. Perhaps you want to crawl around a little bit, then transition, tap, tap, tap. Okay, guys, right back up to standing, tripod kick through with rock and get up. Okay, so again, getting that nice hip hinge, lower the hand down, bring the leg under and through, rock yourself back, and come right back up. Stay loose. You want to stay in any one of these positions. You know, maybe you want to stay in this ground position here on your butt. Practice some shoulder pulses. Feel free. Use these positions as a way to explore and examine yourself so that you know what your body needs. And you honor your body as you go by giving your body that nutrient, by thanking your body, whether it feels good or bad, because it's actually our feelings are neither good nor bad, really. It's just thinking it makes it so, because we can turn lemons into lemonade if we want. So the pain just becomes another thing to be thankful for, or the discomfort, because our body's wired to let us know when something's not right. Okay, so where are we at here? I've been talking too much. All right, so from our tripod kick through, we're going to do our single leg lateral hop. Last set, guys. So again, you're coming with the lateral hop, step behind, move your body through different variations or different positions, really exploring the sensations within the hips. Okay, lowering you down slow and controlled, perhaps at a reach, whatever you like. If this is way too much and you just want to do a shorter hop, feel free. Perhaps you're feeling clubbish. Well, actually, that's probably not what you do at the club. It's definitely not what I do at the club. I don't even go to the club. But if I did, probably wouldn't do this. But you guys get the point. Make it fun. Keep it going. And now we come down to the ground for our plank shoulder taps. So again, you got your variations. Get yourself into good position first. And then when you're ready, go ahead and get that tap. Pass that leg under. Maybe get your prone plank taps going. Perhaps you want to add that variation of a contralateral leg and arm lift. Make it work for you. I don't know if you guys noticed that was a cover up there. I almost went down. And that's why we practice these things. Be able to know how to cover up in the unlikely event that we take a spill or stumble or lose our balance. Such is the case in life sometimes, right? Okay. Nice and strong every single time. Okay, guys, from here, we're going to move into a little bit of a cool down. So the first thing we're going to do is a foot hand crawl or a knee hand crawl roll. So let's start from a knee hand position. And all you're going to do is you're going to lower your hips down to one side, roll through the posterior hip, and then come up to kneeling on the other side. Switch sides. So again, from knee hand crawl, you lower your hips to the ground, roll, post the other arm, come back into your knee hand crawl, switch sides. Nice and strong, while also breathing and making it as effortless as possible. So it's like this idea of relaxed strength. Something I borrowed from Kellen Mylad, my movement mentor. Relaxed strength. So being strong through movement with an element of relaxation. Okay. From here, we're going to get into a prone extension with an arm reach. So let's go ahead and come down onto our stomachs and onto our forearms. Now from this position, let's just start by relaxing our spine, playing around with the idea of breathing all the way through all the different parts of your body. And when you're ready, you're going to take one arm off the ground and then reach. Okay, so you're on your forearms, reach, and then come out of it, reach, and you have all these different angles and directions that you can reach, right? So I can reach towards the sky, I can even reach behind, forward, so many different places to reach. How many can you explore? Okay, so reach, reach, reach. So the two things we're doing, prone extension and reach. Nice and strong. Inhale, exhale. Okay, from here, we're going to go into a prone rotational pec stretch. So you're going to lower yourself or your chest down onto the ground. Perhaps just rock your hips side to side and relax first. With your arms out to the side like a goalpost, you're going to go ahead and reach one leg behind and pressing into the ground actively with both arms. You're going to gently explore different positions to stretch the front side of the chest. Okay, so I can bring my arm down, up, and try to not allow that shoulder on the stretched side to collapse into the ground. Make sure that you're either using your posterior shoulder muscles to lift the arm up off the ground or pressing into the ground actively. Switch sides. Okay, so nice gentle stretch, playing around with different positions, reaching around. But that arm, see, like right there, oh, that was money for me. See, I'm hoping that you guys find money positions through our practice. Because those money positions is kind of like your body's way of saying, there it is, do that one. And do it for a long time. Or for a certain amount of time, whatever. Nice and strong. Pressing and making it as functional as you can. So this is an active type of stretch. This isn't just collapsing into it. Okay? Nice and strong. Okay, so from here, let's press ourselves up. We're going to do a modified couch stretch. So a couch stretch typically is when you go into a split lunge position and then you take the foot off the ground and you focus on stretching through the front of the hip. What we're going to do is something similar, but we're going to start on the ground. So you're going to hike one knee up and the other leg that's straight, you're going to bend that knee and you're just going to rotate your femur bone. Now, as you're rotating your femur bone, just explore the sensations there and just notice how that feels. If you find any spots that feel really good, maybe hang out there and explore the sensations. Okay? Perhaps you want to play around with lifting your pelvis up off the ground, making sure your spine is nice and relaxed. Okay? Let's switch sides. Okay, so you hike the other leg up, and then the leg that's straight, you're just going to bend the knee and then rotate the femur bone. And so if you're not sure what that looks like, just take your ankle and move it from side to side. And again, you want to change your position to accommodate whatever sensations feel good to you. Okay? You can add a little bit of a spinal wave through this movement. Notice how that affects the rotation of the femur, and then switch sides again. Okay, so nice and easy. This is our modified prone couch stretch. It's a great way to open up the hip flexors, Nice and strong. Okay, switch sides one last time. Inhale, exhale. Now, while you're doing these stretches, it's especially important to make sure you're focusing on all those points that we identified earlier for sending our breath 360 degrees in every direction. I keep saying that, but I'm not sure that makes any sense. Anyways, breathe everywhere inside your abdomen, and that means front, sides, back, up, down, every direction you can think of. Make sure that your breathing is a central part of what you're doing right now. Okay, so from here, we're going to come up and we're going to go ahead and come into a knee hand crawl position. You're just going to drop your weight back over your heels, get a nice gentle stretch to the back side now. You can crawl your fingers forward if you like, just lower your chest towards your thigh. You can gently add some undulations through the spine, articulating the spine, feeling every little segment of the spine, all the way to the tip of your tailbone. Really see if you can imagine wagging the tip of that tailbone as you send your hips from side to side. You can bring your body weight forward. Let's see which movements produce the greatest sensations for you. Okay. Starting to slow down that breath, slow down, and tune in. Okay, nice and strong. Just nice articulations of the spine, staying nice and relaxed. Okay, from here we're going to drop our weight back and we're going to go into a deep squat position. So a deep squat, just to explore the sensations here. Now, if this isn't an option for you, you can always feel free to put something underneath your heels or even just come into this, this flexed foot squat position, if you will. And then from here, we're going to add just some gentle movements and exploration of the hips. Okay. Another option is to start from your kneeling position and then to take one foot out to the side and then bring the hip up and then switch sides. So this is really good for massaging the top side of the foot, mobilizing the bones in the feet. This is a really, really good movement. Okay. And then again, playing around with your deep squat. Okay. Make sure to focus that breath all the way down deep. Okay, my alarm is unnecessary now. Okay, so from here, we're going to add an overhead reach. So from your squat position, and again, your squat position, you may need to come into this position here. That's okay, but we're just going to add an overhead reach. Okay. So if you're in your squat, nice gentle overhead reach. Remember, when you're in the center, that's when you breathe in. As you exhale, reach. Breathe in the center, exhale in the reach. Nice and strong. Okay, everybody. From here, let's go ahead into a knee hand crawl. We're going to do a spinal extension stretch one last time. So from your knee hand crawl, go ahead and just lower your pelvis down onto the ground, or towards the ground, I should say, and then open up through the front of the spine. So you want to make sure that the extension of the spine is happening evenly through each segment. So if you're not sure if that's happening, back out, come back into a tabletop position, and then from here, slowly lower your hips forward or down towards the ground, and then extend through the whole spine. Focusing on breathing to all those points, medial to the ASIS or the front of the hip bones, bottom of the sit bones, Lower ribs, front sides back, and also up towards the clavicle. Breathe into it all. Drop your weight back. Give yourself a break. And then one more time, lower those hips towards the ground. Nice and strong. All right. Okay, guys, so from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay on our backs for some three-dimensional breathing to wrap up our practice today. So just come down onto your backside, please. And this time, if you want to keep your knees bent, that's cool. You're going to take 2 fingers on the front side of your hip bones and just press medially to those hip bones. Medially means towards the center. And then as you breathe in, just imagine sending the breath towards those fingers very gently. So you should feel the tissue underneath your fingers kind of gently pressing into those fingers. Okay? From here, you can take your hands on the bottom of the ribs, front, sides, and back. You really want to focus the area that people probably breathe the least in is the back side. So you almost want to feel your ribs kind of pressing into the ground below you. Or if you're able to reach, you can take your thumbs and make sure that you're breathing into your thumbs. Just notice how good that feels. For me, I can kind of, my fingers are really long, so I can touch the first point with my pinky fingers. My thumbs can get the backs. And then now I'm going to take my hands onto the sit bones and just really focus on expanding the breath and sending the breath down into the space in between your sit bones. You can massage your intestines and your reproductive organs with your diaphragm. One of the main reasons why people have or come with colon cancer is because their intestines stop moving. So one of the ways that you can keep your intestines moving beyond the unconscious, subconscious, smooth muscle contractions that are happening already is you can use your diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, guys, if you want to do one last position, let's go into a happy baby pose. So you can grab onto your big toe aspect here, and then you can just rock yourself from side to side. Just soften your body completely. Not trying to contract anywhere specifically, but really mostly trying to focus on relaxing and letting go of unnecessary tension. Just relax yourself. Perhaps you want to kind of take the legs out a little further. Just notice how that feels. Play around, have fun. Okay, little micro movements, always a joy. Inhale, exhale, everybody. Surrendering every ounce, every last bit of unnecessary tension. Letting your breath be the most profound sensation in your whole body right now. So just focusing on all those points at the same time, three-dimensional breathing. Relax. Inhale, exhale. Tune into your body's natural ability to be healthy and strong and adaptable. Tune into your body's ability to heal itself. And we can help our body heal itself by surrendering unnecessary tension and letting go of this idea of trying to control healing when our body is already very well equipped to heal itself. Just tune into what's already happening and encourage it. Imagine your body moving towards health, moving towards the greatest state of physiological capacity you could possibly embody. Okay, guys, If you need to hang out here, or if you want to hang out here for a few more minutes, feel free to do so. Just relax. If you need to get on with the rest of your day, you can, of course, feel free to do that too. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me this morning. I'm going to drink some water. Make sure you're drinking your water today, and make sure that you're smiling plenty, and making sure to prioritize breathing, this idea of three-dimensional breathing, and also making sure to stack yourself in an optimal way so that your breath work is giving you the best return on your investment. Okay? So thank you for being here today. I really appreciate you. Um, Lots of love to y'all, and if all of you have a lovely day. Lots of love to you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. Okay? All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.